A few weeks ago, a so-called ceasefire has been announced. What have we seen since? Every day in the West Bank, villages are attacked by settlers and the Israeli army. Since the so-called ceasefire, 345 Palestinians have been murdered, and Israel resuming its bombing of Lebanon. Now we are being told about a peace plan, but the peace plan of Donald Trump, approved by the United Nations, obviously has nothing to do with a peace plan. It is a plan of occupation. It is the total denial of the Palestinian people's right to sovereignty and freedom. In fact, the Trump and Netanyahu plan, approved by the United Nations, is a plan to finish the Nakba, to eradicate the presence of the Palestinian people on their land. Of course, no one serious can believe Trump. No one serious can believe Starmer or Merz or Macron in France when they talk about peace. Without the weapons they continue to supply to Israel, genocide would be impossible. They are complicit in the murder of the Palestinian people. No one can seriously believe that Trump wants peace, that Starmer or Macron want peace, when in their own countries they want to impose poverty budgets and a warmongering agenda. Supporting the Palestinian people, therefore, means fighting against our own governments. In my country, in France, it means fighting against Macron's government and its policies and to remove them from power. It means fighting to demand an end to arms shipments to Israel, sanctions against Israel, and the termination of all military and trade agreements. Solidarity with the Palestinian people means the relentless fight against the repression organized by all governments against all those who express their refusal of genocide. For instance, in France, more than 1,000 of activists, union or political leaders have been prosecuted for apology for terrorism simply for saying stop genocide. Recently, the Minister of Higher Education banned a conference organized at the Collège de France, one of the country's most prestigious academic institutions, simply because it was a conference on Palestine. In reality, never since the Algerian war we have seen such a level of propaganda, censorship, and repression in France. There can be no concessions. The role of the labor movement and its unions is central to this struggle. Unfortunately, it must be noted that while many trade unionists are present at the local level in demonstrations for Palestine, the leadership of the major organizations, for the most part, looks the other way. And I know that this problem actually happens everywhere, with very few exceptions. But the responsibility of the workers' movement is to fight without concessions against our government, to follow, for example, the magnificent example given by the Italian dockers and workers who, through massive strike action, brought Italy to a standstill on October the 3rd against the complicity of the Meloni government with the Netanyahu government. And yes, it is an example. Solidarity with the Palestinian people also means very concretely affirming our support for the struggles of the teachers in the West Bank who are currently on strike and whom the Palestinian Authority has decided to repress and dismiss. I would like to conclude by mentioning two activists who spoke at a large anti-war rally held in Paris on October the 5th with the support of both Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. The first is an Israeli lady, leader of the B'Tselem organization. The second is a Palestinian lady from the inside and a trade unionist. They demonstrate together, supporting Israeli refuseniks and deserters. They both spoke together on the stage during that meeting held in Paris 2 months ago. Here is what the Palestinian lady said. She said, "Palestine will be free from the river to the sea" has become a global slogan. There is no other path for Palestinians, for free Jews, and for all people who want to live in freedom. Here is what the Israeli lady said. She said, our task to demonstrate the Israeli apartheid regime and establish in its place a regime of equality, dignity, and freedom for all the inhabitants of this land. The example they set is admirable, and for all these reasons, I think it is very important to work towards bringing together activists and forces on an international scale. Thank you for your invitation.